Pakistan has resorted to unprovoked firing at 1 p.m. on 3 Indian forward posts in Hamirpur sector using 82mm mortars. The Indian Army has hit back with equal measure. Well, that is the latest that we're getting in. Well, this is another case of ceasefire violation by Pakistan. Clearly, the LOC hotting up a fair amount of bloodshed that we've seen in the last few days. For more details, I'd like to cut across to our Strategic Affairs editor, Gaurav Sawant, joining us from the newsroom. Gaurav, can you give us details, please?
A series of ceasefire violations by Pakistan in the Hamirpur sector, and currently, even as we speak, Pakistani army is firing mortars in the Balakot sector and also in the Mendar sector. 6 civilians have just been injured. That's the latest that we're picking up from the Jammu and Kashmir police. The army has confirmed the ceasefire violation, but civilian injuries are still to be confirmed. So these are a series of ceasefire violations that are deliberately taking place along the line of control south of Pir Panjal, Preeti.
You know, Gaurav, all of this, of course, and this is the reason we're also engaging with our viewers in this special news broadcast, happening when we are just days ahead of NSA level talks.
Spot on there. In fact, security analysts and especially troops who are monitoring the change of situation along the line of control see this as a deliberate escalation by Pakistan, especially south of Pir Panjal, with a view to turn the dynamics ahead of the National Security Advisor level talks on the 23rd of August. From what sources tell us, this is an unprovoked escalation which has not been seen in this area, especially the use of 120mm mortars, which is an area domination weapon. 6 Indian civilians were killed. Indian Army also responding in equal measure, but still not resorting to using area domination weapons. And the pictures that our viewers are seeing on television is today current ceasefire violation by Pakistan, India responding to it, and this is an Indian area domination patrol in this area.
Appreciate you joining us, Gaurav. What we're going to do is keep coming back to you for more details. We're also going to be engaging with our viewers in this special news broadcast. Meanwhile, Pakistan resorting to endless firing. India is retaliating with equal measure. India today is at the line of control in Jammu sector where heavy shelling and firing is taking place. Pakistan troops have resorted to unprovoked firing at the border using 82mm mortar. India today gets you exclusive details about India's counter and simmering tensions at the line of control.
पर भी इस समय काफी फायरिंग चल रही है, शेलिंग चल रही है। सेना की अगर बात करें तो सेना ने यहां अपने आधुनिक हथियारों को तैनात किया है, जैसे ये अंडर बैरल ग्रेनेड लॉन्चर, ये मल्टी ग्रेनेड लॉन्चर है कि अगर दुश्मन इस खाई से आने का प्रयास करे, आतंकवादी इस खाई के बीच में से आने का प्रयास करे, तो ये ग्रेनेड्स वहां दागे जा रहे हैं। अगर फायरिंग की बात की जाए या इन्फिल्ट्रेशन की बात की जाए, इन्फिल्ट्रेशन का खतरा दिन के समय ज्यादा है या रात में?
इन्फिल्ट्रेशन का खतरा 24 घंटे रहता है। साथ ही हम अपनी सर्वेलेंस और अपने इक्विपमेंट से इनके हर एक मूवमेंट पे नजर रखते हैं। साथ ही अगर कोई एलसी का उल्लंघन होता है तो हम उन्हें मुंह तोड़ जवाब देते हैं।
इस समय जो हमारे सूत्र बता रहे हैं कि यहाँ पर इन्फिल्ट्रेशन का खतरा था, अंदेशा था, ये इंटेलिजेंस की इनपुट आई थी और उसके इसीलिए इन
Well, what we are getting is another set of breaking news coming in from the LOC. 6 civilians have now been injured after Pakistan violated ceasefire in Balakot area of Mendar. Heavy shelling and firing continues from across the border as well. Well, that is the latest that we are getting in. Multiple ceasefire violations being witnessed along the LOC. The latest 6 civilians have been injured. Heavy shelling and firing continues at the border. Multiple locations. The latest that we're getting in is where 6 civilians injured after Pakistan violated ceasefire in Balakot area of Mendar. As we speak, heavy shelling and firing continuing from across the border. We're going to try and connect back to Gaurav Sawant, who's right now stationed at the LOC. He's getting us the spot ground report from there. While clearly the LOC hotting up. I want to cut across to Gaurav. He's on the phone line with us. You know, Gaurav, multiple ceasefire violations across the line of control. It's the bloodiest we've seen the LOC in the recent past.
Absolutely, Preeti. This is a serious escalation. We are on ground zero and we're seeing the changing dynamics. From what police sources tell us, at least 30 schools have been evacuated and they've been closed down indefinitely till the time the situation improves. There is no way that India can afford civilian casualties. There are some border villages where villagers have been requested to move to safer locations. Now, this is not an official evacuation of villages, but villagers have been told that because Pakistan is resorting to unprovoked firing, because Pakistan does not want talks between the two countries, so it is better for civilians to move, to a safer location till the time the situation improves. At the same time, there is restraints from the Indian Army as far as using area domination weapons are concerned. Even when we were this afternoon, the army was responding. There was threat of infiltration. There was intelligence input. As soon as the movement was spotted, the Indian Army opened up. But the Indian Army opened fire using small arms. They did not resort to firing, any area domination weapons, unlike the Pakistan Army, which is targeting Indian civilians.
Appreciate you joining us, Gaurav. What we're going to do is keep coming back to you for more updates on that story. Meanwhile, as Gaurav was also encapsulating no end to hostilities along the border, Pakistan violating ceasefire at 3 places in the last 12 hours. Opening fire at Indian post in Araspura sector today, injuring 1 civilian. Pakistani troops have continued to fire on the Indian post and the villages as a heavy shelling and firing was reported from Hamirpur area of Mindar in Poonch district yesterday. 1 youth was injured in Arnia area of Jammu after Pakistani Rangers fired at 10:15 p.m. to 10:45 p.m. Ceasefire violations were also reported from Saujan and Mandi villages of the Poonch sector. India today travelled to villages in Poonch district which are bearing the brunt of the endless Pakistani shelling. People are fleeing their homes as Pakistan troops continue to resort to unprovoked firing.
कल परसों जब फायरिंग हुई तो मैं रसोई में थी, खाना बना रही थी। जब 2 फायर आए तो मैं अंदर भागी तो 5 मिनट हुए। 5 मिनट के बाद रसोई में फायर आया, वो चूल्हे में बढ़ गया। तो बाथरूम में भी पूरे मकान की तबाही कर दी। जो रेक्स हैं हमारे, उनमें कपड़े थे, बिस्तर थे, सब कुछ की बर्बाद हो गए। बच्चों को शिफ्ट कर दिया पुंछ में। वहाँ 2-2 हजार के कमरे लिए, तो आधे पीछे हैं, आधे आगे हैं। हमारा माल मवेशी भी, इंसान भी सब बर्बाद हो चुके हैं।
ये ऐसा हुआ कि आज लगातार 8 दिन से यहाँ शुरुआत है गोलाबारी, फायरिंग, जिसकी वजह से पूरे ये मकान फायरिंग की जद में आ चुके हैं। मकानों की तबाही, शीटें तबाह, अंदर से अलमारियाँ, खिड़कियाँ, दरवाजे तोड़ फोड़, सुराखें बन गई हैं, शीटें तबाह हो गई हैं। घर बसने के लिए नहीं रहा है।
Well, some of the weapons that are being used by Pakistan and usually the ones reserved for full-out war. The 120mm mortar used for the first time last night has a range of about 7 kilometers. It is a high explosive weapon and can be modified into a guided weapon. The 82mm mortar, though small in size and explosion power, is no less deadly. It has a range of 5 kilometers and is more portable, cheaper, easily available than its 120mm cousin. The third weapon that Pakistan is using is heavy machine gun fire. It's more precise than the mortar and can fire thousands of rounds each minute. The heavy machine gun fire has the capability of penetrating buildings and light armor, making it no less deadlier than mortar shells. All right, I'd like to cut across to Shujaul Haq as well as Anandya, my colleague who's been tracking details from the ministry here. Anandya, what is the government's take? How closely are they watching the situation which is escalating by the minute at the LOC?
Well, indeed, as you rightly said, Preeti, it is one of the most bloodiest assault on the Indian soil by the Pakistani Rangers. Having said that, as far as the Indian government is concerned, it is a bit skeptical. It is taking with a pinch of salt. No doubt that India is not happy at the fact that India have been assaulted right for the last 1 week almost, particularly scaling the attack yesterday night ever since 12 a.m. in the morning. But having said that, they're taking it with a pinch of salt because of the simple reason that one, they understand that Pakistan, in the Pakistani establishment, the government and the civilian government headed by Nawaz Sharif and also the Pakistan army are not on the same side. So 5 days from now, there is a NSA level talks between Ajit Doval and their NSA that is to be scheduled, that is there to be held in New Delhi. But they think that they're giving the benefit of doubt for the simple reason that there may be it may be an assault unilaterally by the Pakistan army, not taking confidence the civilian government, and that's why they're going ahead. And remember one thing, if I may add very quickly, yesterday there was a very veiled attack by the Prime Minister Modi from UAE to the Pakistan, where he was giving a very carrot and stick option. He was saying that he was always referring to Pakistan, but he was also saying that see, that dialogue is the only option and there's no way out from dialogue. So that is why probably India is not at this point cancelling the NSA level talks. As we speak, it is on, but it remains to be seen. 5 days is a long time as far as Indian politics is concerned.
All right, I'd also like to cut across to Shujaul Haq. He's joining us from Srinagar at this point of time. You know, Shuja, with what we've seen, especially in the last couple of days, we've never seen the LOC this hot.
The escalation has gone to a different level altogether, Preeti. In fact, you know, if you see this bout of ceasefire violations have started from Saturday. In fact, you know, 15th of August was when the Indian side received the deadliest attack so far. As we've been reporting, 6 people have lost their lives and countless have been injured. The Pakistani side seems to be blaming the India for starting it, while the Indian forces suggest that the fire first came from Pakistan. But having said that, the bigger picture here is that the escalation on the line of control is something that would not be a good news for those who want peace in the region. Remember, there has been a lot that has been associated with resuming dialogue between India and Pakistan, and now that the process it seems to be starting, and at this point of time, seeing something like this happening is clearly not a good news for those who love peace in this region.
You know, just stay on with me. I believe we also have Hamza from Islamabad, my colleague who's tracking developments there. Hamza, can you give us details? Have you been able to get any reaction on the current situation that prevails on the LOC, all in the backdrop and in light of the NSA level talks that are set to begin in the next 4 to 5 days?
Well, I've been actually speaking to some of the government officials, and also, as Shuja was rightly pointing out, that, it's basically going on both ends. Line of Pakistan is contending that it's a violation every time provoked from the Indian side, and there have been casualties and injuries in Pakistani side on civilians as well. And fortunately, I've been able to actually, have access to reach out to those working boundary areas in Punjab. Interestingly enough, wherever there are civilian casualties on both sides of the border, the security checkpoints are kept empty, because the front lines are the places where the rangers or the border security forces are deployed. Yet both sides have actually opted to target civilian localities, which is basically very alarming. And Pakistan right now wants to, in fact, it's been saying, also lodging protests every day. Every now and then we see Foreign Office giving a statement that the protest has been launched on unprovoked firing. People have died, civilian casualties are going on. Even a very big number of people have started relocating themselves from the area because the escalation is high, on both sides. So I don't think this, with this in the scenario, and the Pakistani government is in place, which basically is echoing and doing exactly what it is being directed from the military establishment. If this is going to stay on even for a day longer, I don't think the NSA level talks are going to go forward, only for the fact that Pakistan government of Nawaz Sharif right now is under direction and governance of the military establishment, and they would not want to take this decision of going ahead with the talks if the military is not on board.
Hamza, so you're actually saying that if things continue the way they are right now with the LOC, there is a possibility that Pakistan might retract from the NSA level talks?
Well, yes, I think that it is being worked on right now. In fact, discussed at that as we speak, that if should Pakistan in fact go ahead for the talks or not, and that decision has to come from the military establishment's consent. Other than that, the political government is not,
Okay, Hamza, how much does this development also have to do with the Indian Prime Minister's speech in Dubai?
I think it actually matters a lot, because see, Pakistan did not go ahead with the alliance when UAE was part of the 10 countries, alliance against Yemen. Pakistan, they wanted Pakistan to come in. Pakistan did not go ahead with that. But And then obviously when this stretch is already there, UAE has not been very happy with Pakistan. And at this time when Narendra Modi goes there and talks about terrorism, hints it towards Pakistan, and gets the same echoing voice from the UAE government, obviously it is going to hurt Nawaz Sharif individually and also the Pakistan's position in the Middle East.
Appreciate you joining us, gentlemen. What we're going to do is keep coming back for more. Hamza giving us important information that as we speak, there are meetings on in Islamabad in Pakistan, whether or not Pakistan will continue with NSA level talks with India. We're going to keep getting